Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our title for final year project is Performance Analysis of Intersection along Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Temugu Ahmad using SIDRA intersection. Our supervisor is Technologist Muhammad Iwan Sani.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Firuzan. So today I will introduce about our introduction. Before that, I will introduce you to Muhammad Nabil and also Muhammad Hafiz. Our background study is the performance evaluation is one of subfield in traffic engineering. With the increasing number of road users in MUA, the absence of a good traffic system will severe current traffic congestion. The performance evaluation at selected intersection will be carried out in the study. For our problem statement, due to timely development, the signaler phases need to be revised to maintain the operating relevancy. Continuous evaluation of signaler intersection performance is a means to revise the signal time phases. Many issues may arise due to unrevised provision of signal phases. Our objective is to identify a peak hour along Jalan Sulaiman/Jalan Temugu Ahmad based on commuter volume count, and also to analyze the level of service of the selected intersection along Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Temugu Ahmad. For our scope of study, data collection will be carried out at Jalan Sulaiman/Jalan Temugu Ahmad. SIDRA Intersection 8.0 software will be used to analyze the performance of the selected intersection. Data collection at intersection will be conducted during peak hour. The peak hour will be determined based on the manual computer count. Our expected outcome is peak hour for Jalan Sulaiman and Jalan Temugu Ahmad will be obtained by using computer count, and the LOS or level of service at the selected intersection will be determined.
My name is Muhammad Hafiz bin Faizal Azmi, number matric AA200539. So in this study, I will talk about literature review. So the first one is concept literature review of traffic. So there is three concepts that has been found by us. So the first one is the decreasing limit of a street at a certain spot or over a set length is the most common explanation. Number two is highly extensive and intricate traffic laws, while others rely more on common sense and willingness to cooperate from drivers. And the last one is the performance is measured in terms of latency and quantity, both of which are essential element in intersection analysis. The second concept of literature review is intersection, which is the first one is has a constant flow of traffic and intersect one or more other intersection. The second one is to design or to promote safety and maintain reasonable transport speed. And the last one is to signalized crossing are extremely important in the transportation system, particularly on city street. So the next one is roundabout. The first concept is as a junction traffic management device. The second one is the most extensively utilized solution. And the last one is essential aspect for performance characteristic of roundabout. For SIDRA Intersection 8.0 software, the concept is to analyze intersection, and the second one is to calculate intersection performance measure like capacity, LOS, delay. And the last one is to give operational option to employing HCM models for predicting critical performance factor. So for the unmanned aerial vehicle, a power aerial vehicle that does not contain a human operator employs aerodynamic force to create vehicle lift and may fly autonomously. So the name is come from the military, which is unmanned aerial vehicle UAV. So now we move on to term in intersection of peak hour. So peak hour is defined as the busiest time, and the formula of the peak hour is dividing the number of cars traveling in each direction by the total numbers of cars. The next term in intersection is data commuter. To clarify the effectiveness of traffic flow, the current study used the LOS approach, and the flow at the intersection can then be classified as stable or unstable. So we move to turning movement data. Turning movement data is the various type of vehicle were evaluated separately and counts were taken as a result. The showcase saturation flow data is described as the numbers of automobiles in all paths during peak hours. So for green light duration, during green light duration, maybe conflicting traffic might arrive from either the intersecting approach or the opposing approach. Other than that, the real green light duration was estimated using the variance or slab technique. The last term in intersection is LOS. LOS is used to dissect highways by sorting traffic flow and allocating quality levels of movement based on execution metrics such as speed and density. Other than that, loss analysis were typically conducted using data collected during the most critical traffic condition at the intersection.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nabil bin Mahiri, Geometric AA200310. For this study, I will talk about the methodology. For the flowchart for this project, they have 7 stages. The first stage is literature review, second, identification of study location, third, computer data collection, fourth, data analysis of peak hour determination, fifth, turning movement data collection, sixth, data analysis of intersection performance, and the last is discussion and conclusion. For this study, 3 intersections at MUA was selected along Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Temuka Ahmad. First intersection is intersection at Jalan Temuka Ahmad, Jalan Tengku Bidahara. Second is intersection at Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Daud. Last one is roundabout at Jalan Sulaiman. For this study, the data collection have 2 parts, that is commuter and turning movement data. Commuter data. For the commuter data, we are using a counter to collect data. From the commuter data, there are 4 different types of vehicle. Class 1 is motorcycle, class 2 is car, class 3 is lift truck and van, class 4 is trailer and buses. The computer data was collected during weekday, and the data collection will run for 13 hours with time interval of 15 minutes. The direction to collect the computer data is from more and to more. Turning movement data. For the turning movement data, we are using a counter to collect the data at the selected section, while drone to collect data at the roundabout. Turning movement data was collected based on the peak hour. The data collection will run for 1 hour with time interval of 15 minutes for the signal intersection. For the roundabout, we collect the data in 15 minutes from the peak hour. Data analysis method also have 2 parts, that is commuter analysis and turning movement analysis. Commuter analysis, the function is to know the peak hour at the selected road, and we are using the Microsoft Excel to combine all the data that we collect. The type of this analysis is time series plotting. Turning movement analysis, the function is to know the volume vehicle for 4 classes at the intersection that is chosen, and we are using SIDRA intersection 8.0 software to know the level of the service. The type of the analysis is US Highway Capacity Manual.
So we move to commuter data peak hour. Commuter data were conducted 13 hours and just 1 hour will be chosen as a peak hour. So from the table, we can see that 6 to 6:15 p.m. is the most highest amount of cumulative vehicle traffic. Other than that, the table shows the peak hour factor that is 0.93. This peak hour factor is used in formula to know the hourly volume at roundabout. So for the further explanation of commuter data is the data will present in graph method because it will be easy to determine the highest bar. From the graph, we can see that 6:15 p.m. were the highest peak for the graph with total vehicle of 2,420 vehicle per hour. So the peak hour along Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Temuka Ahmad started at 5:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m.
Turning movement data at Jalan Temuka Ahmad, Jalan Tengku Bidahara. At the data volume, they have 9 different movement, and every movement have their total volume vehicle. The highest total volume vehicle is 952 vehicle per hour. That is the movement straight from Muar. Turning movement data at Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Daud. From the data, there are 6 different movement. All movement have their own total volume vehicle. The higher volume vehicle for this route is 1090 vehicle per hour. That is the movement straight from Muar. obtaining from data at roundabout Jalan Sulaiman. From the data, we see they have 20 different movement, and every movement have their total volume vehicle for 15 minutes. As we know, the data for the roundabout was taken for 15 minutes only. So to know the hourly volume, they have a formula. That is 4 times the peak hour factor times with the volume vehicle for 15 minutes.
For Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Daud, there is 2 lane that has LOSF, 3 lane that has LOSD, and 1 lane that has LOSC. While Jalan Temenggung Ahmad and Tugu Bendahara, there is 4 lane LOSF, 1 lane LOSE, and also 2 lane LOSC. While roundabout at Jalan Sulaiman has 4 lane LOSF and 1 lane LOSE.
So the conclusion is the peak hour and level of service along Jalan Sulaiman, Jalan Temenggung Ahmad is the worst, and it made this road the busiest road at the peak hour. So for our recommendation, the government can spend some money to build a flyover which can help to fix the traffic law issue drastically.